Section 4 is about slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines. First blank there says parallel lines. Parallel lines have the same slope. So the first blank says parallel lines have the same slope. And what we need to do first of all is look at these three questions, and we need to find the slope. And that's why we filled out that first form, so you can look at it and know how to find the slope here. For example number 1, these are both in slope-intercept form. So the first one has a slope of 2. The second one has a slope of 2. So slope of the first line, slope of the second line, those lines both have the same slope. So yes, they are parallel. Number 2, these equations are not in a nice form for us. First one isn't too bad. First one is in standard form. And we have a formula for the equation in standard form for the equation of a slope. And that is negative a over b. So the opposite of negative 3 is 3 over 1, which makes the first one have a slope of 3. Now this second equation is not in any of those forms. It's not standard form, it's not slope-intercept form, it's not point-slope form. What I'm going to do is I'm going to divide everything by 3. And if you do that, you have y equals 1/3 x plus 4. And now the slope in this case is 1/3. The slope here was 3. 1/3 and 3 are not the same number, so these are not parallel. That will be a no. Number 3, the first equation there is in slope-intercept form. It gives you your slope and where it crosses your y-axis. So the slope in this case is 3. The second equation here, we need to simplify a little bit. You need to distribute that. 1/3 times 9x is 3x. And 1/3 times 15 is 5. So we just put that one in slope-intercept form. And now, since that is in slope-intercept form, the slope in this case is 3. Since they both have a slope of 3, you can say yes, those lines are parallel. Parallel lines have the same slope. The hard part is looking at the equation and figuring out what the slope is. Number 4, we are asked to determine which lines are parallel. First one is in standard form. Negative 2x plus 3y equals 8. That slope formula is negative a over b. So the slope of the first one will be negative 2 over 3. The slope of the second one is 2. And the slope of the third one is negative 2/3. And we know that because these are both in slope-intercept form. So the first one has a slope of negative 2/3. The last one has a slope of negative 2/3. And those two are parallel. They both have a slope of negative 2/3, so they're parallel. Let's take a look at the second one. Number 5, y equals 4/3 x plus 3. That is in point-slope form. So our slope is 4/3. Second one is y equals 2. Y equals is that wide line. Looks like this, wide line. The slope of y equals is 0. That is a horizontal line, so the slope is 0. That third one is in standard form. That's when we need to do the negative a over b. So we will have the opposite of negative 4, which will be a positive 4 over 3. And then y equals negative 3. Y equals is that wide line. It's horizontal. And that also has a slope of 0. So I would do something like put a star by the first and third to show that those two lines are parallel. They have the same slope. And then those two lines are parallel. They have the same slope.
Like on our homework, it says like the y equals negative 3 and there's 2 of them. Do we really have to solve the other one? I'm sure you know those.
No. Number 6, write an equation of a line parallel to x plus 2y equals 12. We need to find the slope of this line. To find the slope of this line, we are going to use the negative a over b formula. That's from standard form. The opposite of negative 1 is 1. The b is 2. So the slope of this line is 1/2. And you could just do y equals 1/2 x. You could do y equals 1/2 x plus, and put any number you want in there, plus 10. As long as your slopes are the same. We figured out the slope has to be 1/2. And then we can just put it in, put any number in. As long as the slopes are the same, you can put any number. And I don't think you have one like that in your assignment. I think the ones on your assignment are going to be more like number 7. And if these are tough right now, the back page is pretty much all these types of questions, so we will get more practice on that. Number 7, write an equation in slope-intercept form of a line that passes through 5, 7, and it's parallel to this line. If it's parallel to that line, your lines have the same slope. And the slope in this case is 4/5, the number in front of the x. And we are asked for slope-intercept form. We actually start with point slope and then work to that one. Point slope form is y minus y star equals m times x minus x star. And now we have an x, we have a y, and we have an m that we can substitute in there. And if we substitute those numbers in there, we will have y minus 7 equals 4/5 times x minus 5. All I did there was substitute in the m for the slope, slope for the m, the x in for the x, the y in for the y. This is point slope form, and we were asked slope intercept, so we need to distribute, and we would have y minus 7 equals 4/5 x minus 4. 4/5 times negative 5 is a negative 4. And then from there, when we add 7 to both sides, our answer will be y equals 4/5 x plus 3. And again, the back side is more questions like that. If that one was confusing to you, we are going to do a couple more. First one's always the worst. Perpendicular lines, your slopes are negative reciprocals. Negative reciprocals. And that might be 2 and negative 1/2. It might be 1/10 and negative 10. Or it might be 0 and undefined. 0 and undefined is your horizontal line and your vertical line. Number 8 says determine if these lines are perpendicular. So number 8, we need to find the slopes. If they're negative reciprocals, then they are perpendicular. So for number 8, slope of this first line is 3/5. Slope of this line is negative 5/3. Those are negative reciprocals, so you would just say yes, perpendicular. And this symbol right here, this upside down T, is the symbol for perpendicular. Number 9, neither of these are in slope-intercept form. So for the first one, I'm going to divide both of these by 7. And if we do that, we have y equals negative 1/7 x. Negative x divided by 7, I change to negative 1/7 x. And the second equation is 1/7 y, or 1 divided by 7y. So we want to undo a divided by 7. To undo a divided by 7, we are going to multiply all 3 parts by 7. And then if we do that, we have y equals 7x plus 21. So this equation has a slope of 7. This equation has a slope of negative 1/7. And we need to say yes or no whether 7 and negative 1/7 are negative reciprocals. And they are, so those would be a yes.
Wait, how would it be 7? 2.7?
No, that's times 7. 7 times x.
Where's the point come from?
That's a multiply. Question?